I believe I may have just stumbled across something absolutely massive, which paints a clear picture for institutional adoption of cryptocurrency networks, and it directly involves Ripple and XRP. In this video, I want to break down exactly what this is because I really do believe we are so much closer to institutional adoption, mass adoption of these cryptocurrency networks, and I want to show you exactly what this is going to look like. I believe this has Ripple and XRP's name written all over it. I believe what we are seeing is the build out of institutional DeFi. Guys, I cannot be more excited about this. And I think you're about to see that the things we've been talking about are happening. They're just not telling you about it. It's happening behind the scenes. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you're in a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, I want to start this video out with just a little bit of context. I actually just stumbled across this doing some of my normal research, and it really paints a picture for where I believe the cryptocurrency market is going in the near future. One of the things I've talked about a lot on this channel is one, institutional adoption of cryptocurrency networks, but also what they need to actually adopt these cryptocurrency networks. I have said many times on this channel that these institutions simply are not going to put themselves in a position where they are interacting with a terrorist organization. On most chains, that's going to be an issue, and that's something that's unsolvable right now with the majority of cryptocurrency networks. Another thing is things like clawbacks, things like decentralized ID. All of these things are lacking for most of the cryptocurrency networks, but Ripple and XRP have paid specific attention to solving. Now, in this video, I want to break down what I believe the next generation institutional DeFi environment is going to look like. And I want to show you that this is really already being built out behind the scenes. This is something we have heard has been happening. We have heard all these different projects. We have seen Ripple working with all these different major institutions, but it doesn't seem like we've ever had anything to point to, anything material to say, this is where it's going to happen. This is what it's going to look like. I believe that's what we are about to cover in this video. You are not going to want to miss this. Stick around for this whole thing. So I want to start off and just show you where my research started and how I stumbled upon this. And I have to give a shout out to a couple people here. I think Crypto Eerie was the first one to break this. But the thing that really got me started down this rabbit hole was essentially Standard Chartered, one of the largest banks in the entire world, saying that they are actually going to be launching crypto custody services in the UAE. Now, you're probably thinking this alone is already massive. It's already a huge win. One of the largest banks in the entire world directly custodying crypto assets. And this is something else I've been talking about a lot on the channel, right? We have these big institutions. We have these big institutions interested in blockchain technology, and they hold all the value in the world. $800 billion at Standard Chartered, right? That's all the value. The thing we've been missing is these large institutions coming into the cryptocurrency industry. It's like you have the new technology, you have the new rails, but the value is just not going to magically create itself there. What we need is the big institutions that hold the value to bring that over to these new rails. And I think what you're seeing right here is the start of that happening. Standard Chartered directly custodying cryptocurrency assets. Now, guys, if you think their plan just stops at them custodying Bitcoin, you are absolutely insane. This is the most obvious tokenization strategy I have ever seen. They are going to start tokenizing digital assets. They are going to start digitizing traditional assets and moving those assets to public blockchains. Absolutely insane, but this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is absolutely nothing in comparison to what we're about to talk about. So just to start, right, this is further confirmation that large institutions are interested in tokenizing value on public blockchains and really transforming the systems we have today into digital systems. I believe this alone is massive, but there's much, much more. Part of Standard Chartered actually custodying these assets entails them working with a custodian. This is something else we've been talking about on this channel constantly. A lot of people were so scared that JP Morgan, Standard Chartered, all these different people were going to create their own cryptocurrencies, create their own custody solutions. Guess what? That's not what they do. They're banks. They're not cryptocurrency technologists. They don't do these things. What do? They go work with someone who knows what they're doing. That is how these things work. This is something I've tried to hammer home on this channel. The Federal Reserve is not going to create its own cryptocurrency network. They're just going to adopt the best one that's out there. Standard Chartered, Bank of America, JP Morgan, they're not going to recreate these things. They're going to have their own proprietary chains, but they're ultimately going to be forced to use public solutions, the leaders, because they don't have the expertise to build it themselves. Well, take a look at this. When you dig down to how this custody solution that Standard Chartered is actually adopting, you can see that it actually directly links to Ripple's Medico solution. You guys remember we talked about a while ago how Medico was actually purchased by Ripple. And I said, I made an entire video on this. I highly suggest you go back and watch it if you don't believe me. I said this was a home run purchase. And the reason this was a home run purchase is because Ripple just directly inserted themselves into the software solution for many of the major banking institutions out there moving into the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Take a look at it this way. A lot of these large banks, for one reason or another, were all using Medico. So what did Ripple say? Hey, let's just buy Medico and then we're instantly in with all the large banks. So that's exactly what they did. And now what we're seeing is the partnerships are fully building out with Ripple's custody solution. So all of Standard Chartered's assets, when they are going to start tokenizing their assets and moving more and more value to this new age of a financial system, these new rails, these new product and services for the digital economy, those are going to be held at Ripple. Yeah, Standard Custody is the owner of the assets, but it looks like a large portion of them will be at Ripple. So this is a direct tie from some of the largest institutions in the entire world directly to Ripple's solutions. And in the same exact way, Standard Chartered is not going to stop at just say, we're tokenizing or we're holding Bitcoin, right? They're not just going to hold Bitcoin. They're going to do so much more. This involves so many higher level moves that honestly, me trying to foreshadow now is probably pointless because it's going to be such insane things we can't even wrap our head around them today. But in that same exact way, Ripple's not just going to say, okay, we're holding your assets, we're done now. Ripple is going to build out DeFi services for these assets, which are all going to come back to XRP as liquidity. And it is being put right in front of you here. This is absolutely insane. And what we know is actually that is exactly what's being built out right here. Take a look at the Zodiac custody solution. What we're seeing is it directly links both Medico, which is now Ripple Custody, Upper Clearloop, and Fireblocks, the biggest institutional providers in the entire world. They are all working together to create products and services for institutions in the market. What they are doing is saying, hey, all the solutions out there right now, all those Ethereum dApps, all those Solana meme coins, right? All of that can happen, but we want no part in it. That's not something we're interested in. What we're going to do is take all the solutions that are made for institutions, make a link between them in an institutional environment where we can offer regulated products and services. This is the start of the institutional networks being built out. This is the start of institutional DeFi, and Ripple is a direct part in this new system they are building. There is zero question in my mind that all the proof of concepts, all the partnerships, all the NDAs come back to institutional solutions like this. CBDCs being able to tie into trusted networks to get access to decentralized liquid assets. That is where XRP is going to sit in the middle of this, and that is the institutional build out happening right before our eyes. I cannot overstate how important this is, because this is the proof that the things we've been talking about are being built directly in front of us. Most people just won't pay attention to what is actually being built. In my opinion, this not only proves that they are actually adopting these systems in real time behind the scenes, but also that they're spinning up institutional networks that are completely different from the networks you and I are going to be using. Does that mean they're not going to be using XRP? Absolutely not, but they're going to be doing it in regulated environments. That is key. This to me makes me so excited about how close we are to all of this playing out, and the institutional adoption we have been waiting for being so much closer than many people truly understand. Now, I want to finish this video off on one last note. And this is a little more speculative, but I still think it ties directly into the broader topic we're talking about. The only thing holding us back, especially in the United States right now, is regulation. We need regulators who are going to allow us to actually build out these systems for production, to allow these things to actually be adopted, for them to go real time, for us to see that real utility in the real financial system. Not these projects being built behind the scenes, not the starting phases, real world adoption, real world implementation. And that is regulation. That is the regulators. Right now, they are purposely holding us back. But this just happened earlier today, and I thought it was fascinating. Judy Shelton, Trump's last nominee for the Federal Reserve, one of the most profound economists right now, who is still in the running to be a Federal Reserve member. Trump has already actually tagged her as possibly being his next pick, or his pick again this time. Directly interacted with someone who is very prominent in the XRP community earlier today, Saul. And what she said is she directly agreed that there is a possibility we could see a new currency on a global scale built in a cryptocurrency-like way that is ultrasound money. Is this a coincidence? Well, maybe you can think so, but there has also been multiple posts Judy Shelton has liked before in the past directly relating to the words XRP the standard. And I don't mean some gematria or some code. I mean there was a post that said XRP the standard and she directly liked it. So guys, you can take that with what you will. But what's so important to understand is the institutional networks are being built. They are being built in the exact way we have speculated these things would be built out. And not only that, the thing we have been waiting on, the thing we have been promised for the longest time, which is the regulations to make this happen, seems to finally be making some progress. I pray that we get people like Judy Shelton in the position of power to make these things happen, because what we can clearly see is the institutions have been building in the background, and in fact, they have been building so long, they can't even keep their secret anymore. We see what's happening, we see what's coming, and I think we're so much closer than many people really understand. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update, and for now, Mickle out.